I'm sure you guys heard about all the chaos that CrowdStrike update has caused for many businesses. But the question might be on your mind, could same problem happen again? Could it happen in other areas and for other types of users? So today, this is what we're talking about. Let's do a super quick recap of what happened. CrowdStrike pushed out an update to their software that crashed computers. How did it do that? There were two things that contributed to it. One is they shipped a DLL, or one of the system files, which was essentially a blank file. Now, if you've been working in e-discovery for long enough, you've seen those blank files, especially if you work with like CDs and DVDs. You get a DVD and it has a DAT file and it has a valid file size. You open it and it's empty. Not that it's 0-byte file, it just has nothing. It actually is padded with like empty bytes. So the whole file looks like it's there if you look at it from a file system level, but if you open, it's just empty on the inside. And that's the file that they shipped. Now, the reason why it caused the problem is because this file runs in Windows on a system level. It's like a driver, and that driver loads during Windows startup. And so when Windows was trying to load that file, it tried to reference certain areas in the file and it crashed and the whole Windows wouldn't boot up. That's basically what happened. We've seen these empty files in lit support for a long time, but in that situation that should never have happened because the update should have been tested. All right, now onto the original question of the video. Could same problem happen to others? Well, I'm sure a lot of people learn from this and they're going to be more careful when deploying their updates. But there is an industry that does something very similar that could cause this to happen again. What industry that is? Gaming. The gamers are the people who could be affected by a very similar problem. Now, the reason why I say gaming industry is next in line to be affected by similar problem is because they use similar style of software in games. So as long as we had games or any kind of gambling or any kind of games, people always wanted to cheat, and no different for online gaming. People want to cheat, and games get shipped with the anti-cheat software, and that anti-cheat software works exactly like CrowdStrike software does. It runs as a driver on a system level, and it monitors for any activity that could be happening that could help users cheat in games. All right, you say, but just because they use same kind of driver, why are they next? Well, the reason for that is quality of games has been going down over time, especially since internet, right? Before internet, games come on CDs or DVDs, and game had to be completed, finalized, tested, and put on the disc and then shipped to the store. Well, now it doesn't happen. Now the games are shipped as quickly as possible before they even finished. And well, they're not being physically shipped anymore. They're being distributed as a software downloads. So the gaming companies can distribute game as quickly as possible, the most half-assed version they can, just so they could get something to gamers so they could start making money. And then they can work on updates and start adding features and fixing bugs and doing all that stuff. Point is, while CrowdStrike software wasn't necessarily rushed and the bug slipped in, here we have a gaming industry where everything is super duper rushed and really poorly tested, really bad quality, just to get some kind of product to customer, and then trickle in all the updates just to fix it. And that puts them on the map to be vulnerable by this kind of problem. If game developers don't even have time to finish their games, what could be said about their anti-cheat software? That's got to be a secondary priority to them. And when that is a secondary priority, lots of problems can be expected from that. And so there are two problems that we can expect. First one, same as CrowdStrike, right? They'll send a corrupt update or some kind of problem with their driver, and that's going to crash the operating system. That we know. But the worst problem that could be is if there are security vulnerabilities in their anti-cheat software, because that software runs at a really privileged level in the operating system. So if there are problems there and someone figures out a way to hack it, they'll be able to gain to an elevated access to your Windows computer, and they'll be able to do whatever they want to do. A similar problem happened to one of the laptop manufacturers. You know, when you buy a laptop and it comes with certain software from the manufacturer that helps you install their drivers or their specific software. Well, they shipped their software that had security vulnerabilities, and that allowed hackers to exploit them and access the computer. I don't know if there were actually any known cases, people hacking in, but security vulnerabilities definitely were there, and that manufacturer had to issue patches and all kinds of stuff to fix that. And I think the issue why we had that security vulnerability in the laptop software is because, again, it wasn't a priority for manufacturers to do all the security checks and everything. They just needed to get the laptops shipped, they needed to get whatever software they got, slap it on, ship it out, just so users could use that software. Which actually I would say you don't even need it, but they wanted to ship it so that they could, I don't know, spy on you or whatever is it that they want you to do with you when they install that software on your laptops. So security wasn't their highest priority, and they just had to get the product shipped, and that's how the problem happened. And same thing will potentially happen in the gaming industry. So is there a takeaway from all of this? Well, probably not much. If the software is going to be rushed, it's probably going to have issues. It can cause your computers to crash and may have security vulnerabilities. That's all there is to it. I'm sure you already know that, but I hope this was fun video to help you think about what we're actually doing in the software world as far as gaming and laptop manufacturers and so on. Anyway, don't forget to follow on LinkedIn, subscribe on YouTube, and I will see you on the video.